All right, guys, welcome to phase 3. This is a super exciting step. This is where we're actually going to build your Shopify store and take all the ideas that you came up with in phases 1 and 2 and actually make them come to life. And by the end of this phase, you're going to have a fully functional Shopify store. And don't worry, as I said, you're not going to need to know any coding. All the steps I'm going to have right on the screen for you. So I'll be demonstrating how the step goes, and then you can also flip back to the slide and look at the step-by-step instructions. So let's get started on this step. All right, so the first thing that you guys want to do is to set up a Shopify account. And if you're wondering why we didn't do this earlier, it's because Shopify actually offers a free 14-day trial where you can use the platform and not pay anything for it. And because you actually don't need the Shopify platform to do product research, it's better to save that free trial until now and you'll get maximum usage out of it. So when you start your trial, you get 14 days to play around on the platform before you need to pay for anything. Okay, so to get started, we're going to go through this link right here. And it's super simple to get started. You're just going to enter in your email address and start your free trial. So enter in a password and then your store name. So you can change your store name later on. So I'm just going to put Sarah's Dropshipping Store to start. Yeah, don't worry if that's not the store name you actually want. It'll be super easy to change. And then it just takes a few moments and then you'll have your account all set up. Okay, so once you've inputted your account information, Shopify is just going to ask you a couple of questions. So it's going to ask, are you already selling? And you can say, I'm not selling products yet. And then in your current revenue, you can put $0, I'm just getting started. Then hit next. Next page, you're going to put in your billing address. So this should be the same address that you have for your banking information. And I'll let you guys input in this whole form. And when you're done, hit enter my store. All right, so we're all logged in and this is what the home page of your store is going to look like to start. So it's going to say your trial just started and it's going to ask you to select a plan. So we don't actually have to choose a plan until the 14-day trial is over. However, I'll just show you guys the options so you guys know what you're looking at when you get to that time. So there's 3 levels of Shopify plans. There's basic Shopify, regular Shopify, and advanced Shopify. And if you're just getting started, I just recommend that you go with the basic Shopify plan. The main differences between the stores are in the number of staff accounts that you can have and also the credit cards rate that you get. So every time that Shopify makes a transaction and you get an order, Shopify will take a percentage of the transaction and it's going to be less if you're on the regular Shopify or the advanced Shopify plans. However, if you're not getting many sales yet and you're just starting to play around with Shopify and get the hang of it, all you need is the basic Shopify plan until you start getting sales and actually need those better rates. All right, the next thing I want to show you guys is the password protection on your store. So while you're building your store, you don't want people to see the progress you're making on it until you're finally ready to launch, because you don't want people to see an in-construction store while you're still working on the fine details. So what you want to do is you want to go onto online store and then you can see here, online store is password protected. So when you sign up for an account, your store is automatically password protected until you disable your password. And if you go down and go to preferences, you scroll all the way down, you can see that it's protected with a pre-selected password. And to disable it, you're actually going to have to pick a plan. So that's something you're going to have to do once your 14-day trial is over. Or if you're super fast, you can pick a plan before your trial is over and you'll be able to enable your store to an audience. So let me show you guys what your store looks like when you have a password on it. So if you ever want to see what your store looks like, you can click this button, the symbol with the eyes right here, and then it's going to pull up what your store looks like to an average viewer. So this is from your side when you're already logged in. But let's say somebody is coming to your page and they type in your store domain and it's password protected. I'll show you guys what that looks like. Open up an incognito window. They're going to get this page. So it's going to say Sarah's Dropshipping Store coming soon. And they can enter in their email address and it'll notify them when you take the password protection off. And if you click this button here, enter using password, you can use the password that you saw on the previous page. So right here, this preset password that Shopify gave to you, and you enter that in, they'll be able to view your store, whether it's done or not. So if you ever want someone to like preview your store or get some feedback on it, you can give them the password that is protecting your store, and they'll be able to view the store without you having to open it up to everybody. So that's something that you should know when you are ready to have your store open up to an audience. You will have to disable your password, and to do that, you'll have to pick a plan. So something to note for a few steps forward. All right, the next thing we're going to look at is the settings for your store. So if you go to this bottom left-hand corner, you can get to settings, and here it's going to show you all the settings for every element of your store. Everything from your general settings, where you have your phone number, your email, and your address, to the payment providers you accept, to the checkout process, notifications, your tax preferences, and how Shopify bills you. It has everything in between. And I want to take you through all these elements to make sure that you have no confusion when you do your own settings for your own store. So first thing let's look at is the general settings. So as you can see here, you have your store name. And we talked about earlier, this is super easy to change. So if you do want to change your store name at any time, you can just change it here. Super easy. And then below that, you have your account email and your customer email. So your account email is the email that Shopify is going to contact you at. So for example, for monthly billing. And then the customer email is the email that your customers are going to see on all the notifications that they get through Shopify. So if they place an order, they're going to see this email being displayed as the email that's contacting them. And then you can look at your store address. So this will be autofilled from what you put in earlier, and then you can also put in the legal name of your business. So this is something we didn't talk about earlier, but you do not need to register your business right away before you set up a Shopify store. I didn't register my first business until I made about $15,000, just because it costs a fair bit of money to register a business, and there's no need to do that until you're making sales. So I recommend that you make about $15,000 to $20,000 in revenue before you register your business as an official registered business in your country. In Canada, it costs about $400 to register a business, so that's cash that you can be putting into your business at the beginning stages before you need to register it. And then if you go down, I have the time zone set to my home time zone, which is Vancouver. And usually here I check Imperial System, which will set the default weight unit to pounds. I like to appeal to US buyers because those are my most frequent customers. If you're from the UK or Australia or a different country, you might want to use the metric system if that's where you feel most of your customers are going to be. And then the edit order ID format, I keep this as is. It'll start your orders at 1001, and that is perfectly fine just like that. And then the store currency, I usually set it to US dollars. And then that looks good for the general page, and then you click save. Okay, so the next section of settings is payment providers. And one reason I love Shopify so much is because it has such a good payment system, which is called Shopify Payments. So essentially, Shopify takes a small percentage of every sale as a credit card rate. And your rate is going to depend on which Shopify plan you're on. So if you're on a more expensive plan, you're going to get a lower credit card rate. And it accepts virtually every form of payment, and it makes it really convenient for you because you don't have to build in a payment system yourself. So all you have to do here is you have to complete your account setup, and it's going to take you to this page. Just enter in your business details and your address, your personal details, and a description of your products. So I'm going to say baby products, maternity wear, children's goods. Okay, and just make sure that your store name is spelled correctly for billing, and enter in your banking information. So this banking information is going to be the bank that Shopify is going to be paying you at. So whatever bank account that you want your money deposited in, enter it here. And once that's done, click Complete Account Setup. Now, you can go back to the previous page, and you can see that PayPal is activated as well. So after you receive your first PayPal sale, Shopify is actually going to send you an email prompting you to set up your PayPal business account. That's super easy. It's just going to basically upgrade your regular PayPal account, and you'll be able to claim your funds that way. Third-party providers. Since Shopify Payments is so good, I don't really recommend using a third-party provider, so I would say to ignore this section. And then alternative and manual payment methods. If for some reason you have a manual payment method, such as bank deposit or money order cash on delivery, this is where you would enter that section. And then just make sure that all your payments are automatically captured, and then once all your settings are correct, hit save. All right, the third thing we're going to look at is your checkout preferences. So click on the checkout icon right there, and first we have customer accounts. So this asks if you want the customer to create an account when they check out or be able to check out as a guest. I usually select the second option. Accounts are optional. So this gives the customer the option of creating an account, or they can check out as a guest, and most stores have this option. You don't want to feel like the customer is forced to create an account, but some people do like to create an account, so the next time they do make an order, their information is already there. And then customer contact. So this, people can choose to either check out using their phone number or email, or only email. And this one, I actually choose only email, because then you're able to collect everyone's email, which then you can use for marketing purposes later. If you choose the first option, you don't collect emails on every order, and so you're kind of missing a key piece of the prize when you're missing the person's email. And then to receive shipping updates, you can choose for a customer to add a phone number or email to receive shipping updates after they complete their order, or they can download an app. I like to give customers both options, and I find that most customers just like receiving updates to their email. And then the form options for when a customer checks out. For full name, I require last name only. Company name, I choose hidden. You don't really need a company name for shipping. Address line 2, it's optional because not everybody has an address line 2. And then phone number, I keep that hidden because we don't really require a phone number for shipping. And then when the customer's checking out, I do say use the shipping address as the billing address by default. They are able to edit that if they want to, but it saves the customer a little bit of time, and I find that most customers prefer that. And I enable address auto completion. They are able to make any changes they want to, but it just makes your store a little more advanced. And then this part, after an order has been paid, you want to choose do not automatically fulfill any of the order's line items. We're going to actually fulfill each order individually on Oberlo, so you don't want Shopify to fulfill any of the orders when it's placed. And then after an order has been fulfilled and paid, so that means after we fulfilled it in Oberlo, we want to check this and we want to automatically archive the order. Next, email marketing. I show a sign up option at checkout, and I do say pre-check the sign up option, so then you can get everyone's email for marketing purposes later on. And then checkout language, I have English selected. If you are running a store in a different country with a different language, you might want to have a different preference. So that is the checkout options. You click save, and we're done with that step. All right, the next 3 sections you'll be able to go through really fast, but I'll take you through all 3 so there's no confusion at all. So for shipping, this is actually not going to really apply to you at all as a drop shipper, because the shipping section here is mostly for stores that are actually packaging and shipping the products themselves. So Shopify is not exclusive to drop shipping. So there's a lot of stores that are holding their own inventory, packaging their goods and sending them off. So here is where they would print their shipping labels and set their packaging requirements. So no need to worry about that, because your supplier will be taking care of that for you. Next is taxes. So this will really depend on what country you're in, and this I actually suggest that you talk to a tax professional and you go onto the Shopify website and read through their section on taxes, because it's definitely going to depend on what country you're located in and what the tax laws are there. So, example for Canada, we don't have to start collecting taxes until we make over $30,000 in revenues. So, starting a business, you don't have to set up a tax account until you reach that threshold. Now, it could totally be different depending on where you're from. So, I really suggest that you look into that yourselves, depending on your specific situation. Now, the second part of taxes is tax calculations. So you have a few options here. If you want to show all prices with tax included, charge tax on shipping rates, or charge VAT on digital goods for European customers. So typically, the only one I check here is charge tax on shipping rates. Some people may choose to show all prices with tax included. If you're from a country where that's typically the norm, then definitely choose that option. And then that is all for taxes. So hit save and we're done with that section. Next is locations. So this is also going to be not very applicable to you as a drop shipper. What this page is, it basically just puts your default address as a fulfillment center, but you won't be fulfilling anything from here because you're drop shipping. This again is for people that are holding their own inventory and are shipping it themselves. So you actually don't need to do anything with this page. I just want to show you what it is, and you can just leave it as is. Next is notifications. So this is going to be the emails that your customers will receive to give them updates about the status of their order. So it ranges everything from order confirmation to if an order has been canceled, to if there's a payment error and they need to resubmit a payment. This isn't really too relevant because this is for people that ship their own products, but delivery, so if their item is out for delivery or if it has been delivered, and even welcome emails and account password reset emails. So all the communication that's going to go out to your customer is going to be from notifications. So what you can do is you can open up one of these pages and you might see that it's a little bit hard to read. So what you can actually do is you can preview the email and you can see what it actually looks like when it gets sent out to a customer. So it looks like this. This would be the receipt that they get when they make a purchase on your store. And if you want to see what it looks like when you receive the email, you can send a test email. And it's going to send to the email that you have listed as your Shopify contact email. So let's see if I received it. And okay, perfect. Got it. So just like that, yep, you can see that this is what the customer is going to get. Just like that. And if you want to make any edits to that, what you can do is you can just go to the text here and you basically just want to edit in between the lines. So you can see that these parts with the brackets are the coded sections that are going to be auto-filled. So the customer's first name, that's going to be automatically pulled from the information that they input. So you don't want to edit any of those sections. But any of the text that's outside of the brackets, you can feel free to edit that, and that's going to change it on the email itself. So you can edit that and then preview it until you're happy with how the email looks. And then another thing that you can do is you can customize the emails. So here you can not only edit the text like you did in the last section, but you can change the colors as well, and you can add in your own logo, which we're going to create in a little bit. So you can change the color, you can change the logo width. So here you can change it to something different, just like that. And then you can take a look at how you want it to be. And if you're happy with that, click Save. And that's going to be your new notification template. And moving on, next we have Files. So Files is a place where you can upload pictures and videos, which then you can use later on in your store. So this is going to be useful later when we start building our theme and we're taking out the generic pictures that they have in the Shopify themes and we're going to put in our own pictures. And when we do that, we're going to first upload them into Files and then we're going to pull them from Files into our store theme. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do that later, but that's what the section of Files is for. And next is Sales Channels. So it's not just your Shopify store that people can access your products through. You can actually add a variety of sales channels where you can list your products and also your store. And you get customers from those pages that then connect to your Shopify store. And then that's how you broaden your reach to bigger audiences. So the most popular sales channels to add is your Facebook shop, your Instagram shop, and depending on what type of store you have, also you can include a buy button to include on any website or blog. You can also dropship using Amazon and eBay, but that's a little bit of a different system that we won't be covering in this course. So later on, we will be using the Facebook and Instagram shop to add more sales channels for your store. The next section of settings is plans and permissions. So here you'll be able to look at what type of plan you're on, and you can also compare plans if you're looking to upgrade your plan. Also, you can give permission to different people who you want to have access to editing your store. So right now, I'm the store owner and I can add 2 other staff members on the basic plan. So if you have business partners, this would be the place to add them in and they can access the store through an email that you put in here. Also, this page also gives you the opportunity to change your store status. So if you're thinking about closing your store or taking a break from your store, or maybe you need some help with Shopify to manage your store, this is the page to come to do that. So here you have a few options. You can hire Shopify experts to manage any problems that you have in your store or to help you with any issues that you're facing. So they can help you with anything such as setting up your store, creating a logo, setting up applications, copywriting, you name it. So if you need specific help, you can go and hire a Shopify expert. I typically don't go this route and I usually use different third-party services, but this is definitely an option if you want to keep everything on the Shopify platform. This page also gives you the opportunity to pause your store, and you can pause it with all your settings still in place with a reduced plan price. You won't be able to sell items during this time, obviously. And then you can also close your store from this page, and you have 30 days if you do change your mind, and you can have everything back just like you had it before you closed your store. So if you want to make any changes to your plans, permissions, or who has access to your store, this is the page to do it on. And continuing through, next we have billing. So here is where you would input your billing information so Shopify can charge you. So for your monthly plan and any app subscription costs, it's going to come from the credit card that you input in here. And then as time passes, you'll also be able to see your monthly bills and the different charges that you have from Shopify. So here you'll be able to see a financial overview of all the money that you spent directly on the Shopify platform. And finally, we have the legal pages. So these pages will include your refund policy, privacy policy, terms of service, and your shipping policy. And I'm going to give you some tricks on how to fill this out a little bit later. But these are where these pages are, and we're going to be filling them in with your store's policies in the next little bit. So that's it for the general settings. And I know that might have seemed like a lot of information right off the bat, but I promise you, once you do these settings once, you'll be able to do them over and over again for any stores that you create in the future. And if you get lost, just rewind and go through the steps just like I showed you guys for each of these different policies, and you'll be able to get through the settings in no time and start building the creative aspects of your store. Okay, now that we have your Shopify settings handled, it's finally time to get to some of the creative elements, which I personally think is the funnest part about building a Shopify store. So the first thing that we're going to do is to choose a store name. And when you're choosing a store name, I have 5 tips for you that can make the process a little bit easier. So choosing a store name can be really daunting. There's millions of options that you can choose from when choosing a name, and sometimes you just don't know where to start. So it can be as easy as just following your gut instinct and thinking of a name that you just know off the top of your head will work. And it can also be really difficult, and no matter what you think of, it doesn't seem to fit, or maybe the domain's already taken, and you just can't seem to find a name for your business. So my 5 tips for you are: first, keep your name broad. If you ever have to pivot in your strategy of what type of products you're selling, having a more broad-based name gives you more options to choose from if you have to change your main products. So although you can change your store name easily on Shopify, the hard part about changing your store name is then you would have to change your domain and also change the names of your social media accounts. So ideally you want to pick a broad name that you can pivot a little bit in different directions. So for example, instead of choosing a name such as Sarah's Baby Swaddles, which is very specific and kind of corners you into selling only baby swaddles, you might want to choose a name such as Lilac Baby Boutique, which then you would be able to experiment with different baby items that aren't baby swaddles. And if you want to get even more generic, you can choose simply Lilac Boutique. So what I usually like to do is I'll choose a domain that can be used in any niche. So for example, I would make the domain Lilac Boutique, and then I would make my social media handles and the store name with the niche included. So the Lilac Baby Boutique would be my Instagram handle, and it'd be the store name on Shopify. So that's one way to go about having a name that can be easily pivoted to different directions that you might go. Second, keep your name short. Use 4 words max. Any more than that, it's just way too long and it's just way too complicated for anything that's practical. In all of your titles, it's going to take up way too much space, so 4 words is the maximum. Number 3, you can use a made-up word as your store name. So when you think of stores such as Google, Adidas, Nike, IKEA, Twitter, there's so many. These companies all took a word which was made up and made it the name of their store. So the great thing about this is not only does it set you apart from the crowd, it also allows you to claim pretty unique domains that probably nobody else is using. So it makes it a lot easier to claim these domains and also social media handles. And another hack that you can use here is you could use a word from a foreign language that means something special. So for example, if I have a baby store, I could use a Swedish word for growing, or maybe I want to use the Chinese word for comfort. Different words that represent your brand but are in a different language. That could be your store name as well. Number 4, don't pick a name similar to a competitor. Not at all. You definitely want to be different, and if you're attached to a store name that's similar to your competitor, just forget it and pick a different store name. And number 5, alliterations can definitely be attention grabbing. So if you have an alliteration that rolls off the tongue, that could be a really good idea for a name for your business. And if you're still looking for some more ideas, or if you want some more inspiration on what type of names you can choose for your business, I have 2 great resources for you. So the first is Shopify Business Name Generator. And this is a tool by Shopify where you can include a word that you want your business name to include, and Shopify is going to give you a lot of suggestions. So if I input the query baby, it's going to generate 100 business names that contains the word baby. So one thing to keep in mind is that not all of these names are available on Shopify. This tool just gives you possibilities of suggestions. And then let's say if you click on a suggestion, if this wasn't available, it'll say that this store name is not available. So you can kind of look through these for inspiration and different ideas that you can use for your store. So if I look through There's some pretty cool ones. Heritage Baby, Baby Waves, Air Baby. So some pretty cool suggestions on here, and you can just search different queries that you want your business name to include. One other thing I should mention is that just because a store name is available on Shopify, it doesn't necessarily mean that that domain is available for purchase and use. So before you get too attached to a name, brainstorm some ideas of names and simply get inspiration before you make a final selection, because we're going to be going through domain selection on the next slide. So in this step, your purpose should be just getting inspiration and seeing what store names are out there for you to get ideas from. But don't get too attached to a name until we get to the next step. Another great resource that you can get ideas from is a site called Pun Generator. So this is puns for you. Sometimes these puns are good for a business, sometimes they're not, but it's basically just a good way to get ideas and get your brain moving about what kind of possible things you can name your business. So here there's one's Baby Gaga, 1984, that's a play on 1984. Definitely Baby. Yeah, so some of these you can see it definitely won't work for a business. It ain't over till the fat baby sings. This is like a play on the song, it ain't over till the fat lady sings. But some of them are quite good. So 1984 could be an idea. Baby Gaga could be one. And if you go back, you can also do the same for phrases. So type in baby. Let's look at some phrases. And here, Baby Boomer, Hasta la Vista Baby, Baby Blues, $1 Million Baby. These are some good ideas that you can think about, and you can perhaps incorporate them in your store. Okay, so like I said on the last step, before you get too attached to the store name, we need to check if the store domain and social media handles are available. So in this step, the most important two things that you need to test is if the domain is available and if the Instagram handle that you need is available. The other things are a little bit flexible, such as the store email and the Facebook page. Facebook will generally let you put any name as the Facebook page as long as it follows their guidelines. And for the Gmail, we'll actually be setting up email forwarding, so you don't need to get the perfect email for your business. So you mainly need to check if you can get the domain and the Instagram handle. So the first thing we're going to check for is the domain. All right, so from your homepage, you want to go to Online Store, Domains. And you can actually purchase a domain from a third party and then connect it on Shopify. But I just recommend that you get your domain on Shopify just because it's simple, it's easy, you can keep everything under one roof, and you're able to test new domains really quickly on here. So to get a new domain, you click Buy New Domain. And here you can test different store ideas and store names that you found on the last slide. So one cool store name that I found was Honey Bear Baby. And it's going to pull up if this is available to purchase as a domain. So you can see the most popular ending with .com is unavailable. There are other extensions such as .ca, net, org, store, and shop that are available. I tend to stick with .com just because it's the most trusted ending for a domain. So I look for stores that are available with the .com ending. If you do go with a different one, the only other one that I would do is .store. But yeah, I suggest that you stick with .com. So Honey Bear Baby's not available. Another one that I saw was Step by Step Baby. And okay, that's awesome. So stepbystepbaby.com is available for $14 USD a year. So yeah, you can go through and find different ones. I'm not going to purchase this one right now. I'm going to test a few other ones. I'm also going to test a few with made up names. So Honey Lou's Baby. I thought it was a cute name that I made up, and yeah, it's available. So that's really awesome. And typically what I like to do is I don't like to put the niche of my store in the store name directly. So for the domain, I would choose just Honeyloo's. And that's awesome. It's available as well. So on here, you can play around with different store ideas and names that you found on the last slide. And it's a good idea to test different ones, see if they're available, and have a few options because you want to see if these Instagram handles are available as well. So at the same time, while you're testing domains, you also want to see if the screen name that you want is available as an Instagram handle. So how you want to test this is you can just go to your personal Instagram profile and click Edit Profile. So it's that button right there, and you just want to tap it on your personal Instagram page. And now you have the option to change your username. So you can just change your username to whatever you want your store name to be. And here I'm going to try Honey Bear Baby. And if it is available, you'll be able to change your username. And if it's not available, it'll say this username is not available. Please select a different username. So in this case, Honey Bear Baby is not available. So I'm going to try Honeyloo's. So Honeyloo's is a name that I found in the last research step. I thought it was cute and it's available. So that's awesome. So that is how you test your screen name. And you can do this at the same time while you're searching domains, or you can search a bunch of domains and then test them on Instagram. It's totally up to you. I usually like to do it at the same time just so I'm eliminating my options right away. But that's essentially how you see if you can get the name on Instagram. Okay, so now if you found a domain that you like and you've also found that it's available on Instagram, then now is the time to buy that domain. So I am going to go ahead and purchase the domain that I found for Honeyloo's because I think that's a really cute name for a baby store. And the .com version was available. So you find it on the Buy New Domain page and you can click Buy. And a few things you want to review on this page. So usually I don't select auto renew for the next year if I'm just starting out a store. I don't know if I'm going to be running it in the next year, so you can always select this at a later time. So I just unselect that. Then I also check this section. The Who is Privacy is a security feature that if it's included, it blocks people from looking up your personal information that's associated with a domain. So if a domain includes the Who is Privacy, that means that people can't look up your information such as your name, your address, your email, and other personal identifying information. And this is not like a feature that you have to have, but I generally look for a domain that includes it because I like to stay anonymous online. So this is awesome. This one includes it. Everything looks good, and I'm going to click Buy Domain. Okay, now that you've purchased your domain, you will get an email from Shopify for you to verify your domain. So just click on the second link that they send you to verify the new domain that you purchased. And we'll just open it up here. So, yep, looks good. Contact name, contact email, and we're going to verify information. So, perfect. Then what we want to do, we want to go back onto the domain page, and we want to change our primary domain to the one that we just bought. And you can choose either of these, the one with or without the www, it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to choose that. And now when somebody goes to that website, it's going to take them to your store. So I'll show you guys that really quickly. So now we go to Honeyloo's and it's going to take them to this page. And once you have your domain purchased, you'll want to set up an email for your store. So I recommend that you use a Gmail account because using Gmail also gives you access to Google Drive, which can be really useful if you use Google Docs or Google Sheets for your business later on. So we're going to set up a Google account, and for the first name and last name, I just use the store name, so Honeyloo's Boutique. And then for your username, Honeyloo's. You might have to try a few combinations here, but as I said, don't worry if it's not perfect. You'll be able to set up a forwarding email if it doesn't work out to be the one that you want. So let me just set this up here. Okay, so that's already taken. Honey Lou's store. Let's try that. And here, just complete the verification step and enter in your phone number. Then once you're done that, your email will be all ready to go. Okay, now that you have an email set up, we're going to set up email forwarding. So if you go onto your domains page, go to your primary domain and click Manage. So basically what email forwarding is people can contact one email and it's going to send that email to an email that you specify. So right now we have forwarding set up from info@honeyloos.com and sales@honeyloos.com, forwarding to my personal email at sarah@salewho. So essentially the idea of this is it gives the customer a more professional email to contact you through. honeyloos.com is a better handle than gmail.com. So it's just a better formality for your customer to follow. And I'm actually going to delete both of these. And I'm going to insert the forwarding email to the one that we just created. You can have it forwarded to your personal email if you want to, but I don't suggest that because it's better to keep all of your business emails in one place for that store that you've created. So delete the ones that are forwarding to your personal and we'll insert the one that we just created. So info@honeyloos, forwarding to honeyloosstore@gmail.com. And we'll save that. And you don't have to have multiple. So earlier there was info and then there was also sales. So I'm just going to keep it at one and info@honeyloos.com. So anytime a customer emails you at this email address, it's going to forward to your Gmail. And that's the purpose of email forwarding. And now let's set up your Instagram and Facebook accounts. So to sign up for Instagram, just simply go onto the Instagram homepage and click sign up. And you can do this on your phone as well, since Instagram is primarily a mobile platform. So that's where you're probably going to be using the platform the most. So we'll type in the email that we just created, honeyloosstore@gmail.com, honeyloos, and we'll make the username honeyloos since we checked and it's available. And just click sign up. Okay, perfect. And you'll also get a verification email, so make sure you follow the steps and verify your account. But yeah, just one-step process, and now you've got the Instagram handle. And now we also want to set up a Facebook page. So if you go to Facebook /pages, you'll be able to create a Facebook page for your business. So go on here and create page. And we want to create one for a business or a brand. And I just want to go on here and fill out all the fields. Honeyloos Boutique. We'll call it Honeyloos Baby Boutique. And category is baby. Baby goods and kids goods. Continue. All right, awesome. This I'm going to skip for now. We can add the profile picture and everything after. So skip the profile picture, skip the cover photo, and took a second to load, but here we are. So this is your very own Facebook page for your business. And at any time, you can change the profile picture and the cover photo, which we're going to do in a little bit after we create your logos. So at any time, you can also get to this page by clicking the drop-down menu on your personal Facebook page, and all of your business pages will be on the side there. So a few other things, if you click settings, you can go to page info, And if you go to page info, you'll be able to edit some of the descriptions and features on your page. So the description, I'll just add a short one here. And you can change this at any time too. We'll be working on a vision and mission statement coming up as well, so you might want to edit this description in a little bit. And moving on, enter in your phone number as well as your website. And for the email, you can put in the forwarding email that we just set up, info@honeyloos.com. So save these changes. And the address, you can put your address if you want to. I'm not going to put an address for this. And for hours, I'm going to put always open since we're an e-commerce business. Down here, we have 3 more fields to fill out. The first is the impressium. So this is not something I ever fill out because I'm in North America where this is not a necessity. But basically, if you're from a European country such as Austria, Germany, and Switzerland, you might need to include a statement of ownership for your web presence. So make sure you check if the country that you're in requires this. My country doesn't, so I'm going to skip that step and I'm going to move on to products. So I'm just going to enter baby products, children's gear, maternity wear, and more. And you can also change this at any time as well. And then for the privacy policy, we're going to be creating a privacy policy for you in the upcoming steps. So once we have that completed, make sure you link it on your Facebook page as well. And then once you've completed all these fields, save them, and your Facebook page will basically be up and running. So this is a super exciting step in the process, choosing your domain and your social media profiles. And once you have them claimed, it's a really great feeling. And it's the first step to owning your own business online. So once you're done these steps, we'll move on to the next slide and I'll show you guys how to further your brand. Okay, the next step of creating your business is to come up with a mission statement and a slogan. So a mission statement is a short statement about the purpose of your brand or your company. And then a slogan is a quick and memorable catchphrase that you want consumers to associate with your business. So a mission statement and slogan are both not only important for describing your business, but they're important for the long-term vision and growth of your organization. So if you ever forget the purpose of your company, exactly what you're trying to do as an organization and where you're headed, you can refer back to the mission statement and slogan to remind yourself of that. So for example, IKEA's mission statement is to offer a wide range of well-designed, functional home furnishing products at prices so low that as many people as possible will be able to afford them. So in your mission statement, you should be mentioning exactly who you are as an organization, who you're selling to, and what you're selling. And your mission statement is typically not used in advertisements, but you usually put it in the About Us section of your website. And the purpose of it is to tell consumers exactly what your organization's purpose is and what you're here to do. So you can think of your mission statement as basically an elevator pitch. So if you were to tell somebody new about what your new company is, what would you tell them? That's your mission statement. On the other hand, a slogan is a shorter phrase that you usually use in advertisements, and sometimes you put in your logo as well. So IKEA's slogan is the wonderful everyday. And a slogan is usually 3 to 5 words. It's really quick, and you basically just want it to capture the essence and the vibe of your store. So when a consumer hears that phrase, they think of your store. So I've created a mission statement and a slogan for Honey Lou's Baby Boutique. And the mission statement is, At Honey Lou's Baby Boutique, functionality and style go hand in hand. We aim to provide beautifully designed and functional products for mothers and little ones from newborn to 48 months, making your life a little bit easier every single day. So as you can see, I described exactly what we're selling, who we're selling to, and what the benefits of this store are. That's what you want to capture in your mission statement. And the slogan that I chose for this store is Motherhood Made Functional. So it's really quick, it's catchy, and it basically summarizes the takeaway that I want people to remember when they come to Honey Lou's Baby Boutique. So your job now is to create a mission statement and a slogan for your own store. And once you've done that, I'll see you on the next slide. So now that we've decided on a store name, a store domain, a slogan, and a mission statement, now we want to take a moment to update your settings and preferences. And at this step, we're also going to create a meta description. And what a meta description is, it's what people are going to see when your store comes up on Google. So right here is a meta. This top part is the meta title, and then this bottom part is the meta description. So just a visual example of what we're about to create. So I'm going to go ahead and go into our store, and where you want to go is you want to go into settings and general. So here you want to change your store name. So we're going to change that to Honey Lou's Baby Boutique. And we also want to change the store contact email and the customer email to the Gmail that you created at honeylous.com, info@honeylous. So all the emails that get sent here are going to get forwarded to you. And hit save. Okay, cool. And then to make the meta description, you're going to go to online store, preferences. And then here you want to just put a homepage title. So Honey Lou's Baby Boutique. You can just use the name of your store. And then the meta description. So I'm going to write Honey Lou's Baby Boutique is the world's leading provider in baby goods, children's products, and maternity wear. All beautifully designed with functionality in mind. So yeah, basically you just want to write a description of your store, which is going to show up on Google. And don't be afraid to pump your own tires a little bit here. It's important that you make your store sound good and a place that people want to shop. So yeah, don't be afraid to say things like world's leading provider. Okay, step 4. This is one of my favorite steps in the process. This is when we're going to create the logo for your store. So if you don't have any graphic design skills, don't worry at all, because there's tools out there now that makes it super easy for you to create a logo without knowing any graphic design at all. So there's a few tools that I recommend for you when you're creating a logo. So if you're going to create your own, there's 3 options that I recommend. So one is Luca, and I'm going to demonstrate this one for you guys. This is a website where you can choose a bunch of options, and it's going to generate a bunch of logos that you can choose from. Second is Photoshop. So if you do have Photoshop skills, of course, this is one way to create your logo. I personally don't have Photoshop skills, so I don't ever use this option. And then third is Canva. So this is a more basic version of Photoshop, and it's also free to use. So a lot of times I use Canva for creation of not only logos, but for graphic designs for my store. And if you don't want to be a designer and you don't want to create your logo yourself, there's also options for that as well. So for having someone create your logo for you, there's 2 places that I recommend for you to find a designer. One is Fiverr. So Fiverr is basically a marketplace, not only for graphic designers, but for all sorts of skills. Copywriting, website design, video creation, etc., etc. So Fiverr is a really good place to find a designer. And then there's also 99 Designs. 99 Designs is also excellent. It's a little bit higher budget, but if your budget allows for it, they have some award-winning designers on there that you can check out. So first, I'm going to show you guys Luca. So Luca is where I've created designs for my stores in the past, and it's super easy to use. That's why I love it. So first, it's going to ask you, what type of business are you starting? I'm going to put in baby shop. And then it's going to get you to pick 5 or more logos that you like. So it basically wants to get a sense of what you want your logo to be similar to. So I really like this one. It's nice and clean. Let's see. I think this one's cute. This is kind of cute. I like this one as well. And this one. Pick one more. Okay, then you can hit continue. And then you can select up to 2 color styles. So for this one, I think I want light and vibrant, as well as I want to take a look at bright and vibrant as well. And then 3 colors we like. So for Honeyloos, I'm going to go with a yellow and possibly pink color scheme. Those are really popular with babies. I think I'll go with primarily yellow, but I want to take a look at some pink options as well. And then company name, Honeyloos Baby Boutique. And then a slogan, motherhood made functional. So here you can search and add up to 5 symbols. So here I'm going to look for a honey pot. So it's going to give you a lot of options. I really like this one with the little bee. Let's take a look at a few more. This one's cute as well. This one's really cute. I love that heart. And let's see. Let's look up honeycomb. Okay, and let's take a look here. I don't really like any of these ones. Let's see. Okay, let's try searching baby. Okay, maybe I'll pick this one just to see what it comes up with. But ideally we'd like to get a little bit more specific. So let's go back to honey. We'll just search honey, see what it comes up with. Let's see, I kind of like these ones with the honeycomb. I like that. Okay, so you can select up to 5, and you can always switch these around. So we'll just start with 5 and see what it comes up with, and then we can change them around later. So Luca's going to generate a bunch of designs for you based on the inputs that you provided, and you can just scroll through. So right off the bat, I kind of don't like how many words I have on screen. So I'm going to change this to just Honeyloos for the name and get rid of Baby Boutique. And then let's see our changes from that. So it's going to take a second to load. But yeah, this is a super fun process. I could look at logos like forever. I'm very like design oriented, so this is one of my favorite parts of the process. Then looking at these. So scrolling through, I kind of like this design, and if at any time you like one of them, you can simply favorite it and you'll be able to look back at it at any time. And when you're going through this, you can also change your options at any time. So if you wanted to change your colors, you could replace this with a different color. Let's say I wanted to do orange instead. And then you can say, see your changes. And Luca is going to come up with different logos for you. So it's a really, really easy and fun platform to use, and you can just play around with different combinations until you find the right one for you. And okay, let's take a look. So yeah, tons of different options. Let's favorite another one here. Cool. And so if you have a list of favorites and you want to take a look at them, we can go to our saved logos. Let's go to this here, and you can actually make some edits to it before you purchase it. So click Edit Logo. And let's say you liked everything about the logo, but you just wish that the font was a little bit bigger relative to the picture. This is where you can make those edits. So you can bold the fonts, edit the fonts, change the colors a little bit, change the photo. So you can basically just adjust it to how you want it to be. And then when you're ready, you can click Buy. So to purchase a logo from Luca costs $65 USD, which is not a bad price to pay for a logo that's already designed for you and can kind of take what's in your mind and put it on paper. So Luca is a really, really good option for you to kind of design with a bit of help too. All right, and then the two other options are Photoshop and Canva. So I'm not going to get into Photoshop because that's a whole topic on its own, but I will take you guys through Canva. And let me just pull it up here, canva.com. It's free to use, and sometimes you do pay a little bit of a fee to purchase the design that you've created, but it is a little bit cheaper than Luca because you will have to do a little bit more work yourself. So on Canva, you can create a whole variety of different designs. You can make animated media, presentations, posters, create things for t-shirts, logos, Instagram posts, covers, and more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a design, and I'm going to select logo. So it'll take you to the Canva design page, and here you'll be able to customize the design that you're creating. So basically you start with a blank template. So it's not like Luca where you choose a bunch of settings and Luca's going to create it for you. On Canva, you're going to be creating the design yourself, which for some people that's really fun. So if you really like design, Canva might be a really good option for you. And then you can insert different things. So you can insert photos from that you can upload, or you can insert stock photos. So Canva is really good for designing ads, and we're going to actually use it later for that. But if you're in logo, you could add in elements. So let's add in a honeybee. Let's see what options there are. So yeah, you could insert like something like this, and then edit it to be the size that you want. So let's say I wanted this, and then you can also add in text. So then add in honeyloos. You can then move it to exactly how you want it. So yeah, as you can see, it's quite easy to use, but you will have to do a little bit more manual designing yourself. But it is pretty fun, so if you like designing, definitely check out Canva, and you have a lot more flexibility with the things that you can create. So that's one option for you for designing the logo. And if you don't want to create your own logo, I'll show you guys the two options where you can get someone to create it for you. So first is Fiverr. And Fiverr is basically a digital freelancer marketplace, and you can find providers of every digital service. So everything from graphics and design to digital marketing to programming and tech, and even lifestyle things like astrology and readings and like relationship advice. So any online service you can think of, you can find it here on Fiverr. So I'm going to go to graphics and design and go to logo design. And basically what you're going to find on here is a ton of people offering their services with what they can offer you. So let's just go to one of these and take a look. So when you go to Fiverr seller, it's basically going to show their different packages of what they can offer. So here this person has a basic package, and which includes 2 logos in JPEG and transparent PNG and 9 revisions. So that's a pretty good price for all that it offers. And if you want more, you can look at their standard and premium packages. And usually on here, you'll also be able to see reviews and examples of their previous work as well. So this person has a ton of reviews, and I like to look through the reviews just to make sure that they sound legitimate, because Fiverr is kind of a version of like AliExpress for services. Not every listing on here is going to be great, so I do like to take a look through to make sure that it looks legit. So yeah, you can basically take a look through different sellers, and if they're offering what you're looking for, then you can contact the seller just like that, and you'll be able to negotiate a package with them or choose one of the ones that they're offering. Second is 99 Designs. If you have a huge budget and you don't mind spending a lot on graphic design, 99 Designs has some award-winning designers that are definitely going to do a good job with your logo. So here you can say get started, and yeah, so you can see that their packages are definitely more expensive than what we just saw on Fiverr, but you are working with designers that have a ton of experience and are providing professional service. And they can design everything from stationery, business logos, your social media covers, and more. So if you have a huge budget, take a look at 99 Designs, and you could find some really great graphic designers on there. So ultimately, I decided to use Canva to create my logo, mostly because they had this really cute honeybee that really fit with what I was imagining in my mind for this logo. So it looks like this. I have the store name and our slogan with it. So now I'm going to download this image and save it. And when you're downloading this, you should download a few versions of your design. So not only should you download it like this, but I recommend that you also download a version with like just the honeybee, maybe the honeybee on top and the slogan and name under it, and a few different formats so you can see which ones look the best when you actually put it on your website. And you should also consider downloading it as with a transparent background. So with transparent background, you do need Canva Pro, but it's free for 14 days, so just download it and then get your pictures and then cancel your free trial. So what a transparent background lets you do is you can put the image over top of another image or use it as an overlay. So sometimes it's really useful because then you don't get the white block surrounding it. So go ahead and download a few versions of your logo, and then when you're done, move on to the next step. Step 5, selecting a theme. So the theme of your store is your store's visual layout. And this step can actually be done earlier or later in the process, but I'll show you guys the step now so you can have a good background to work with when you're importing products. So to get to the themes of your store, you want to go to Online Store, Themes. So it's actually just going to pop up right there for you. And Shopify has a variety of free and paid themes to work with. and every store starts with a free debut theme. And to change your theme, you can go down to the theme library and you can explore free themes and also visit the theme store to look at paid ones. So I'm going to show you guys what the debut theme looks like and basically what a theme is. So you can go to Actions, Preview. And this is going to show you guys what your store looks like from the customer side. So this is basically the debut theme. You have your top navigation bar up here. You get a big banner of image with text overlay. And then the first thing you have is your featured product collection. Then you get a focus image, image slides, and then you get your footer navigation as well as some information about your business. And then you can get an email subscription box as well. So this theme is actually really great. If you don't know where to start, this is a really good one to choose. The debut theme works with practically any store, and it's especially good for multi-product stores. So that's the theme that every store starts with. And if you wanted to customize your theme, you would press this button right here. So to customize a theme, it basically means that you can change the colors, the fonts, the pictures that you add into the theme while still keeping the same layout. So pull up this customization. So as you can see, we can go to this sidebar and we can edit what picture is going to go in here. So this is the first banner image that people see. And a good place to find images for your store is a website called Unsplash. So Unsplash offers free photos in all sorts of different categories, and you can simply just download them and use them in your store. So I'm going to take a look at some options for baby. Yeah, we'll just start with baby. So you're able to scroll through all these images and they're all completely free. So let's say you wanted one of them, you can just click collect. And you can create a new collection, and I'm going to name it Honey Lou's. And we'll just create that collection. And okay, so it's going to be saved right there. So yeah, you can just scroll through. And if you don't find any that you like, I kind of like this one, add it to the collection. Yeah, if you don't find any that you like, you can also scroll up and click on related queries. So click on mom as well and see if there's any cool images here. This one's kind of nice. Add it to the collection. And if there's any ones that you want right away, you can just click this button down here and download it. So it's going to be in your downloads right here in the corner. And we'll go back to our store and I'm going to add in one of the images. So we'll upload an image and we can upload the one that we just downloaded. So I might change this image later, but I'll show you guys how this looks like and how you can easily upload different pictures and change the look of your store. So yeah, super easy, just like that. You get the image right there. And I'll just move this. We can say select. And all done. So yeah, that's how you add an image. And down here you can also edit the text. So you can say text size, we'll keep it at large, and heading we can change it to Honey Lou's Baby Boutique, and we can add our slogan here: Motherhood Made Functional. And I'm going to hit save on that, and it's going to save the changes that we've made. So super easy to add a new picture into your store. You don't have to get your picture from Unsplashed. If you have a great product photo from the vendor, that's another great option. Or if you're having a sale, then I change up this picture all the time. So if you have like holiday sales or you have Black Friday or something special going on, it's super easy to change the pictures in your theme. So we'll just go back here and we'll also look at the featured collection. So here you'll also be able to change the different products that you have per row. So right now you have 3, you can change it to 4 or change it to 2, depending on what type of story you're telling and how many featured items you want to display. And another thing here that I usually like to add is the show all button. So people will be able to view all the products if they just scroll down a little bit. And that's a way to get people deeper into your store and get them to view more items. So, yeah, that looks good. And we'll save that section as well. In the next section, image with text, I usually choose another feature item and go into detail about it a little bit. Maybe it's another interesting item that has some technical specifications that really set it apart from the crowd. So this is your opportunity to kind of write a little bit about an item, just to give your store some more interesting in-depth features on the front page. So I won't do that now. I'll do that after we've uploaded our products and we can choose one that is a good fit for this section. And then next is the image slide. So here, what I like to do is you can use the slide for many things. You can use it for either advertising products or showing people using your item in the community or showing different initiatives that your store might contribute to. So this is totally up to you. How to use the slide section, but those are some different ideas for you that you can use it for. So that's the core section of your store and what you can edit in the body of the front page. Now let's take a look at the header and the footer. So if we go to the header here, you'll be able to insert your logo image that you created, like the one I created on Canva. So it's a good idea, of course, like I said, to create different versions of your logo, and you can see which one fits in the best here. So I'm going to insert this one here, see how it looks. And it's going to show up like that. So I think that looks pretty good, but let's go ahead and insert one of the logos with just the honeybee. So I think that's one of our first ones here. Okay, that one's the one like a square. I think that one takes up too much space, so let me upload the one with just the bee. I believe it is this one. It's pretty cool seeing your store come to life with all the things that you create. After looking at all the options, I think that this logo with the honeybee on the side and then our store name and slogan looks the best and fits the best with this layout. So I'm going to choose this one, hit select, and it's going to take you back to the previous page. And depending on your logo, you can choose to have it left or centered. And I think for ours, I'm going to keep it as left. And down here, you can actually also change your menu options, which is right now just the home and catalog. I'm actually going to not show this right now, but I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do that when we get to the navigation step later on. So one thing to keep in mind at this step is that you can change the theme and all the contents of the theme at any time. So this is actually something that you should be doing as you're importing products, or if you're noticing that things aren't fitting right in the visual layout of your store, you can always come back and change the theme. So it's a good idea to take a look at the theme earlier on in the process so you can get a good idea of what kind of visual elements you need to be aware of. And then for the footer, one element that we can edit right now is the talk about your business element. So I'll just move myself up here. So in this element, I usually like to put the mission statement that we came up with earlier. And I have it saved in a note here. So we'll just paste that there. So yeah, talk about your business. It's a good way to end the layout when someone scrolls to the bottom of the page. So we'll save that. And this footer menu, again, we'll be editing that as we do the navigation in a little bit here. And another element we can look at is editing the color. So you can actually do this in every section, from the products to the banner to the header. You can edit the background and text of every section. So let's say you wanted a different color for this background rather than white. You can select it here, or you can enter in the color code and it's going to select it for you. So you can play around with the color scheme and see if there's one that fits your business. So I'm going to leave this at white for now until we get later on into the process after we've imported in products. So I'm going to leave it as white, and you can also do the same thing with the text. You can change the text to different colors. One thing that I do like to do also in the footer is I like to show payment icons. So checking this box is basically going to show this bar at the bottom, and it shows all the different payment options that you can accept. And not only is it good for the customer's information, but it also adds that sense of legitimacy that we talked about. And yeah, those are all the things that we can add in the footer. And besides all the different sections and the header and the footer, you can also edit the general settings of your theme as well in this tab here. So here you can edit the colors of your theme, and this will change all the colors altogether of the entire theme. Then you can go specifically into the section if you want a section to be a different color. So you can do that, and as well you can change the different font for the entirety of the theme. And then of course you can customize it again in the specific section. And then social media, you can connect your social media options, and it's going to show up in your theme. Additionally, you can add a favicon. And what a favicon is, it's actually this little symbol that shows up, and it's the symbol that's associated with your page on a tab. So I'll add that in now, and we'll add in the little honeybee. So that's awesome. We'll let that load. And then save. And two more elements here. One is the add to cart notification. And what this is, it's basically a notification that will come up as a pop-up banner when someone adds something to their cart. So it's going to say, you have just added blank item into your cart. And I think it's a nice feature to have, so I always check it off and add it to my store. And then next is the checkout page. So here you'll want to select a background image for your banner, insert your logo, and then optionally you can add a background image for the main content area and the order summary. I typically don't add in an image for these last two just because I feel like it makes the page look a little bit too messy and congested, so I just enter in a logo and a banner image. So we're going to select an image, and this time instead of uploading one, I'm going to show you guys how to use Shopify's free images. So if you click free images, Shopify has a huge array of different images that you can choose from in different categories. So they happen to have one for kids and babies, which is perfect for us. And we're looking for something that's easy to look at and good for a checkout page. So I think this one looks great. So I'm going to select it, and it's going to be the background image for our checkout page. And I'm going to add in our logo as well. So here we'll just select the one that we used up here, select, and save. And if at any time you want to see how your page looks on a mobile screen, you can hit this icon right here. And this is going to show how your page looks on a phone. And then if you want to see widescreen, which is how a customer is going to see your page on desktop, it's this icon on the right. So you can toggle between the screens to make sure that all your changes and edits look good on any device and any platform. So I like to look between the three when I'm making changes just to make sure that it looks good whether I'm on a phone or a computer. And then when you're done making edits, you can click this button right here, and it's going to take us back to the Shopify homepage with themes. So we're back on the themes homepage, and I just want to remind you guys that if you don't like the debut theme that you started with, you can always change your theme at any time. So Shopify has a whole variety of free and paid themes, and depending on what type of story you're telling and what type of items you're selling, you'll want to take a look at different themes and see if there's a way that you can display your story or your brand better. So There's 8 free themes to choose from, and they all have different layouts, and you can pick through those. And if you do have more of a budget, they do have some pretty awesome paid themes that can really add to the value of your store. So I'll take you to paid themes website. Scroll down. So for example, these, if you have a very editorial type of store and you want a lot of imagery, District could be a really good option for you. So we'll just go to it here and you can test it out in your store. So we'll view the demo. And this is how it would look. So if you have more of a budget, you can see that these themes look really, really good. They look really professional. So a theme is definitely a great investment that you can make in your store. So I'm just going to go back on this. And yeah, so there are tons and tons of paid themes that you can choose from. But if you don't have the budget for a paid theme, a free theme is fantastic as well. Okay, the next step is to set up our Oberlo settings. And I know this page looks like a ton of information, but basically the purpose here is to just give you guys a reference guide to look back on when you're doing these settings. So I'm going to take you through all these settings right now and show you guys how to set up Oberlo. So to add the Oberlo app, we're going to go to the sidebar here and click Apps. And it's actually already going to be here as a recommendation to add to your store. And we're just going to click on this link. It's going to take us to the Shopify App Store, and we're going to be able to add the app directly. So here, we're just going to go Add App, and it's going to take us to this page. So just scroll down, click Install App, and it'll just take a second to download. Awesome. So just like that, we're on the Oberlo dashboard. So the first place we're going to go is we're going to go to Oberlo settings. So it's just this bottom icon right here. So we want to update the store name. So Honey Lou's Baby Boutique. And here we want to unselect Set New Products as Published. So we don't want Oberlo to publish the products on our Shopify store right away because we want another opportunity to edit them on Shopify before we officially publish them. So unselect that option. We want to select Yes, Set Products as Taxable. And we also want to set the unit of measurement for product weight. So typically I choose pounds because I'm appealing to US customers, but you can make your own selection there. So here, yes, we want to notify our customers with a notification email if the order gets fulfilled. And in the custom shipping URL, we want to input the following link. What this is going to do is it's going to trigger Oberlo to plug in the remainder of this link, and it's going to add a tracking number to the notification email. So that's really important. Make sure you copy this link and it's on the slide that I just showed you guys. And in auto updates, when a product is no longer available on AliExpress, I choose to set the quantity to 0. What this does, it's going to make the product out of stock on the front end of your store. And I prefer to do this instead of unpublishing the product. The reason for that is you kind of sometimes want the product to be out of stock because then it generates a sense of demand for this product. So I set the quantity to 0, and if you do want to take it off your site, you then have the availability to do that on your own. And then I choose the same thing for when a variant is no longer available. And then when the cost changes, I choose to do nothing. So AliExpress costs don't change that much. It's not going to go from $3 to $10. It might change by like 5% or so at a time. So I don't do anything when the cost changes, because if you do update the price and the compared at price, then it's kind of weird if your price is like a market price and it's changing all the time. So I just do nothing, and I look at my different wholesale products and see what the prices are at on a regular basis. And then when the inventory changes on an AliExpress product, I update automatically. So if a product goes back in stock, it'll display on the website. And those are the first set of settings you need to do for Oberlo. Next, you want to update your supplier settings. So go to the sidebar here and click suppliers, and you'll be taken to this page. So make sure you already have the Chrome extension installed. We did that in step 1, but if you didn't do that yet, make sure you have it installed now. So what we want to set is the default shipping method, and we always want to choose ePacket. So ePacket is the best option for shipping to the most countries at the lowest cost. So make sure that that's your default method. And then the override phone number. So put your own phone number here, and this is going to be used on the order instead of your customer's phone number. So if anything goes wrong with an order, this would be the phone number to call. But to be honest, in my 3 years of dropshipping, I've never had anybody call me regarding an order specifically. They'll always message you on AliExpress first. So don't worry about people calling you all the time, because that has not happened in my experience. So put your own phone number there. And then in the custom note, so they actually plug it in for you already, and it says, I'm dropshipping. Please do not put any invoices, QR codes, promotions, or your brand name logo in the shipments. Please ship as soon as possible for repeat business. Thank you. So every supplier on AliExpress is doing wholesale orders to different online retailers like us, and they're doing retail orders to people who are ordering directly from AliExpress as consumers. So you have to add this note in there, because if you don't, then they're going to be shipping the package with all of their own branding and packaging and etc. So make sure you put that note in, and they will follow the instructions to make it feasible for you to drop ship. So once you've inputted those things, click Save Settings, and we'll move on. Final setting on Oberlo is you want to go to Other. So click on Other, and the only thing that we have to check here is that the reply to email address is filled in with your forwarding email address. So all the messages to your customers are going to be coming from this email address, and sometimes it doesn't fill in if you haven't changed it already. So just make sure that this is the correct one and it's not your personal email address. And then once that's correct, click Save Settings, and you're done all the settings on Oberlo. All right, now we want to move your products from Oberlo into Shopify. But before we do that, we got to check a couple of things. So first we want to check that your product is already imported from AliExpress into Oberlo before we import from Oberlo into Shopify. Then on the Oberlo platform, we're going to make an edit to a couple of things. One is the product title, and then we're also going to edit the product variants, the pictures, and the prices for the product. These edits are actually easier to make on Oberlo rather than the Shopify platform itself. So I like to get these edits out of the way before I import the product onto the Shopify platform. Then we're going to import the product, and then we're going to search for the product on the Shopify backend, and we're going to edit the product copy, which is the written description for the product. So let me show you guys now how to move the product from Oberlo into Shopify. So from the Oberlo homepage, you want to go to this left-hand sidebar and go to Import List. So if you did your product research on Oberlo and you clicked Add to Import List, your products are going to be here already. So we're just going to take a look at what that looks like. So yeah, if you did your product research through Search Products on Oberlo like we looked at before, they will be in this list. So you can see I have a bunch of products in here. However, if you did some product research on AliExpress or Salehu, for example, and you haven't imported them in yet, you need to import them in from the AliExpress platform. So we'll go to the AliExpress site here. And this is my wish list that I have saved on AliExpress. And I know that I haven't imported these two items yet into Oberlo. So with the Chrome extension installed, you'll see this blue Oberlo symbol on the side of each product. And if you click it, it's going to import it directly into your store. So I'm going to import that one and import that one as well. And it's going to go right into your import list. So I'll just show you guys how it looks. So now you can see that the two products we just clicked have been moved into our Oberlo import list, and then the rest of the products are still here as well. So basically, it's a two-step process to move your products into Shopify. First, you're moving it from AliExpress into Oberlo, and then second, you're moving it from Oberlo into Shopify. So what I often do is I'll be doing product research on AliExpress, and then I'll save the products into my favorites list on AliExpress, and then move them into Oberlo all at the same time. So if you do that as well, make sure that you're moving the products from AliExpress into Oberlo, or else they're going to be sitting in your AliExpress favorites list, and they're not going to be on this import list here. So now let me show you guys the edits that we need to make before we import these items into your store on Shopify. So let's take a look at this item here. So this is one of the feature items we're going to be using in our store, and it's a portable playmat that can be zipped up into a bag. So the first thing we want to do is we want to edit the product name. So right now the name is this long thing here, and we want to replace it with the name that we want to call the product in our store. So for this product, I'm going to call it the Zip and Go Portable Playmat. So yeah, pick something catchy, something fun, and you can feel free to use your imagination here. The next thing, take a look at the description. We're not going to be changing the description until we import it into our Shopify store, but it's good to know that there's a tab for it here on Oberlo. Next is the variants. So what variants are is it's the different versions of the product, both in size and color. So here you can see there's different colors of the product as well as small, medium, and large sizes. And at this step, what you can do is you can edit any grammatical changes you need to make on the variants as well as change the prices. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So here we want to change the colors so it has a capital, just to have it be more professional looking and consistent. So I'll go ahead and do all of that. Okay, now that I've edited the variants, we want to edit the prices. So actually, if you only had one variant for this product and you wanted to set just one price, you can actually change all the prices up here and click Set New Value. So let's say if I wanted to make all the variants $25, I could apply that and it's going to change all the prices to $25. But since in this case we have a few different variants, we want to make them different prices since there are 3 different sizes. So for the small size, I'm going to choose to price it at $18. And for the medium, I'm going to price it at $26. And for the large, I'm going to price it at $34. And there's no exact science to this except that you should price it at least 3 times more than the cost. And I pretty much just do a little bit of looking on how this product is selling on other websites and on Amazon, for example, and then I choose my selling price. So go ahead and copy this price that you set and input it in for all the other colors. Okay, so I've gone ahead and changed all the prices, the small to $18, the mediums to $26, and the largest to $34. And I've also changed the compared at prices to those values as well. So the compared at price is basically the price before discount. And when you're importing an item in, you're typically not discounting it. So I put the same value that I do for the price as the compared at price. So for example, if you wanted an item to display at discount, you'd put like $20 at the compared at price versus $18 at the price over here. But I typically don't do that for new items, so I input in the regular price at the compared at price. Now we're going to edit images. So we'll go to the images tab and just unselect all the images that you don't want and select all the images that you do want. So these ones we all want, they look good. If you want to make an image bigger, click in that symbol in the corner. Okay, I want to take that one, this one. Let's see what this one says. Okay, this grammar's not quite right, so I'm not going to import in that picture. This picture is good. Let's see, already have that one. Then import in this one. Let's see what this one says. Okay, not a great write-up either, so I'm not going to import in that. And import in this one. So once you've selected all the images that you want, now you can import the product into your store. Click that. Once you've hit import to store, now we want to take a look at the product on the Shopify backend. So you have two options here. Either you can click edit product on Shopify and it's going to pull up a new tab directly to the product, or you can go onto your Shopify backend, go to products, all products, and look at a list of all the products you have in your store. And from there, you can search for your product. So taking a look at the product page, you're going to see that all the settings that we changed in Oberlo are going to convert over to this page as well. So we still have to update the copy of the product, but if we go down, all the images that we selected and unselected are there, and all the variants have been edited to how we did in the last step. So this is how it looks when it gets imported directly from Oberlo into Shopify. So now that we've imported your product into your store, we want to talk about writing the copy for your product. So the copy is the written description for your product, and in my opinion, this can make or break a sale. The writing in your product copy is super important in both the language that you use and the content that you have. So I have 4 tips for you when writing a good product copy. First, you want to identify your target audience and communicate to them as a group. So for this store, we're going to be communicating to moms, mom-to-bees, and mamas, basically. And in other stores, if you're running like a beauty store, for example, you could refer to your audience as beauty queens or style lovers or a different name that you can coin. But you want to refer to them as a group and make them feel like they're being directed to. And second, you want to identify the product benefits and the problem it solves. So you want to clearly say, do you struggle with blank? And have you heard that this item can do this? So basically you want to identify the problem right away, and you want to say how this product can solve that issue. Third, you want to include info on technical features of the product. So what material is it made of? Is it FDA approved? Does it have pockets, zippers? Is it soft to the touch? These technical details is going to paint a picture of the product in the consumer's mind, and you want them to imagine themselves being able to use it before they even have it in their hand. Fourth, you want to include power words in your writing to evoke an emotional response from your customers. So the power of language is an incredible thing, and it's an art form in itself, persuasive writing. So you can simply Google power words. I came across this article and I thought it was a pretty good one to give as an example. So for example, persuasive words. Instead of just describing an item as great or useful or even amazing is pretty general, it's going to be a lot better to use really specific words to evoke emotional responses. So for example, the words such as life-changing, or brilliant, remarkable. These words are a lot more powerful than generalized words such as amazing or great. So you want to use as many words that evoke emotion as possible in your writing, and you want to make the item seem like it's something that can really benefit this person in their lives. Okay, so this is the product copy that I came up with for the Zip & Go portable playmat, and I'll take you through it and go through all the elements with you and what you should include in your product copies. So start off with, hey there mamas, so address your audience. We know that the hardest part about playing with toys is cleaning up. Address the problem. Make it easier with the Zip & Go portable playmat. Introduce the product. This incredibly designed 2-in-1 playmat that doubles as a storage bag takes all the hassle out of playing and leaves you more time for fun. Bring your playroom wherever you go and clean up quicker than you can say, let's go. So a quick little introduction about the product and make it sound like something that's relatable and that they could use. And then I talk about the features of the product. I say it's portable. Take your play area to the park, beach on holiday. Durable. It's made out of durable Oxford cloth and canvas, machine washable. It's stylish and innovative, so it comes in 5 colors, 3 sizes, and a unique zip and go zip tie system. So we talk about all the elements that make this product special. And then you also want to mention the different sizes because it's not going to show it in the different elements here. So you need to put it in your description. So in this product copy, you want to take them through who they are, what their problem is, what the product is, and exactly how it solves their problem. And also what other cool elements this product has as well. Now, if we go down to the photos, you can see that I changed some of the photos from the original photos that there were. So you can see that this first photo is the product in use. I thought that this was a really good first photo to use. You can show the product being used in different situations, so it can be hung up. You can show how convenient it is, show it being used by kids. So this is a good photo. And then you also want to have the different colors because you want to have them for your different variants. So if you want to have a certain variant match a certain color, you just drag and drop this photo to the variant and it's going to put that image there. And that is how you copyright a product. One thing that I do want to mention is that copywriting is one of the more difficult skills in building a Shopify store. Learning to capture an audience through words and captivating buyers' intent doesn't always come naturally or overnight. So it's definitely a developed skill that it might take some time for you to get used to. One suggestion that I do have to improve your copywriting skills is that you can look at other stores and how they describe their products. So whenever I'm stuck and don't know what to write in my product copy, I go onto other stores in my niche or even similar products on Amazon and eBay and see how these product copies are written. And oftentimes that gives me some inspiration on how I can write for my own products. And once you're happy with your product description, there's 2 final things that you want to do on the product page. So first, you want to preview the item and see exactly how it looks on your store. So this is just another method to double check that everything is how you want it to be. And yep, so you can check the formatting, make sure that it's how you like it and how you want to see it. And yeah, that looks good to me, so that's perfect. And then another thing you want to do is you want to make it live on your store. So if we go to our home right now, this product is not going to display on our home page. It's actually not available on our store yet. So Shopify won't publish a product automatically because we had disabled that feature in Oberlo earlier, if you remember. So what we want to do now is we want to click Manage here in Product Availability and click Online Store and click Done, Save, and it's going to update. So now if we go back to the home page and refresh it, we should be able to see our new product on the home page. So if we scroll down, now we can see our product. So when you're satisfied with the written copy you've done, make sure you preview it, and then when you're happy with that, make it live. The next thing you'll want to do is to organize your products into collections. So instead of having all your products just listed on the home page, you'll want to organize them into more specific categories so it's easier for people to shop. So some common collections to organize your products by are the home collection and the featured collection, which is on the home page. Sale items, new arrivals, and then also specialty collections to fit your store. So for this store, some specialty collections could maybe be 0 to 12 months, 12 to 24 months, 24 months and above, or for moms or for babies. If you're doing a jewelry store, for example, you could sort it by gold, silver, necklaces, bracelets, anklets, etc. It all depends on how you want to structure your store and what makes sense for the items that you're selling. So let me show you guys what this looks like. So go to our store and you'll want to go to Products and then collections. So right now, as you can see, we just have the homepage collection, and if we go to it, we just have the Zip and Go portable playmat in it. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add 2 more collections. I'm going to create one collection for new arrivals. So if you scroll down, there's 2 collection types. One is manual, where you add products to the collection one by one, and the second is automated. So I'm going to talk about automated first. So how an automated collection works is essentially you can add product tags to each product. And if a product is tagged with a certain term that you determine, then it's going to be added to a collection automatically. So let me show you guys what a product tag looks like. So I have this bag set pulled up, and on the right hand side here, there's a section called tags. So let's say I wanted to create the tag new arrivals. If I created this tag here and then I saved it here and then went back to our new arrivals collection and created the tag new arrivals in this section and saved it, then this product would automatically be added to this collection. So this doesn't always work with every type of collection. For example, I'm not going to be using it for the new arrivals collection because that means I'll have to be changing it every time I'm rotating out products. But it does work really well with collections that are always set. So if you have a bags collection, or if you have a women's collection, or necklaces where the items, once they're in, they're not going out, then using an automatic collection is a really, really great idea. Another thing you can do is when you're on the product page, you can actually add to a collection right from the page. So if you wanted to delete this tag and add the item to the home page instead, you're also able to do that. So that's how an automatic collection works. Now, if we create another collection, I'll show you guys how a manual collection looks. So I'm going to create a sale collection and choose manual. So I'll save. And then how the page is going to look is it's going to give me an option to search or browse products. So if I click browse, I'll be able to click an item and add it in manually. So a manual selection is really good if you have a smaller collection or if you have a collection that's changing all the time. So I typically use it for the sale collection, for example. And you'll notice if we go to our home page, you're actually not going to see these collections displayed yet. Don't worry, it doesn't mean that anything is wrong. We simply have to add them into our navigation menu, and we're going to get to that in just 2 steps. All right, and we're moving on to the next step. So now we want to create info pages for your store. What info pages are is there's usually 6 core pages that every e-commerce store has, and usually you find these at the footer of every store. So these pages are about us, contact us, refund policy, privacy policy, shipping policy, and terms of service. And if you're thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to write a privacy policy? Don't worry, I have a template prepared for you guys, and you can simply fill out some blanks, and you're going to be able to create all these pages. So let me pull up these templates. And these are basically standardized templates that a lot of dropshipping stores use, and you can customize them a little bit to make them your own. So first is the About Us section. And here you have 2 options. One is super easy. You can just fill in these blue sections with your own information, and you'll have a fully formed About Us section. But it might sound a little bit robotic. So what I recommend that you do is to take your mission statement, expand on it a little bit, and then take some elements from this template and add them in where they make sense, just to give your About Us section a little bit more personality. And then next is Contact Us. All you want to say in the contact us section is for any questions or concerns, please contact us at your store email and we'll aim to get back to you in 1 to 3 business days. And you don't want to leave any information such as like a phone number or mailing address, and that's for 2 reasons. One, if anything goes wrong with your store or your supplier, you really don't want to be receiving like voicemails or like phone messages, hate mail, anything like that. Anything that can be dealt with on email. And when it's being dealt with over email, you also have a paper trail of everything that was discussed, and any inquiries or complaints that a customer has, you'll have a record of that if you do it over email. So email is definitely the way to go. And then refund policy. So dropshipping refunds are difficult. And that's because you're not shipping the product yourself, it's coming from your supplier in Asia. So what's most popular solution in dropshipping is to offer store credit instead of doing refunds. So if a customer is unsatisfied with the item that they received, one common solution is to offer them store credit and they can get a different item at your store. Another solution that you can do if a customer gets like a broken or defective item, you can refund them in the original form of payment through Shopify. So you can decide your exact refund policy yourself, but one popular tool to use is the store credit system. Next is your privacy policy, and this just talks about how all the information that's provided by your customer is being held by Shopify and it stays on Shopify. And then next is the terms of service, and this talks about that the information that your customer provides, such as their email address and mailing address, is being used for the reasons that we say it's being used for, which is mailing them the product that they ordered. And then finally, we have the shipping policy. So in drop shipping, 2 to 3 weeks is generally standard to receive an item. So I like to say to allow up to 20 business days for delivery for common areas such as the USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, UK, and Europe. Most dropshipping items are not shipping to Africa reliably yet, so you'll want to add that note as a section as well. And you can also consider adding the notes to allow up to 60 business days up for delivery, just in case you have those really long deliveries and you can say, hey, sometimes it takes longer than it should. So you can use these templates as a guide to form the pages for your own store, and you can tweak them to exactly how you like, but they contain all the standard information, standard shipping days, and standard policies. So hopefully this will help you when you're creating the pages for your store. Okay, so for the first 2 pages, the About Us and Contact Us, you want to go to Online Store, and then Pages. And from Pages, you want to go Add Page. So here you can create a page for your store. So I'm going to say About Us. And here I've already written a description about the About Us for Honeyloos. So I basically just took the mission statement and then added our values, and that we hope that customers choose Honeyloos to be their go-to brand when selecting new products for themselves and their child. So now click Save, and you have an About Us page. Next, you want to add in the Contact Us. So I'm just going to copy this right here and then go to Pages and add a page and Contact Us. And I'm going to edit this part to and plug in our email. So info@honeyloos.com. And save. And you've got the Contact Us page created. For the next 4 pages, you want to go to Settings and then Legal. So here you manage your store's legal pages, and it'll actually have the policies laid out for you, and you can just input them in. And they have templates here for you as well. But but they're not adapted to drop shipping. So you can check out the Shopify templates as well. But the ones that I've provided are adapted for drop shipping specifically. So you can take a look at both and see which one fits the best for your business. So feel free to now take the template from the doc and then input it in, and then make sure you edit the sections that need to be inputted with your store's own information. All right, so now that you've created your product pages as well as your info pages, it's time to create navigation for your store. So we're going to be creating a main menu as well as a footer menu. And basically what they are is the main menu is the top bar that you see at the very top of your store, and the footer is what you see at the bottom. So usually a main menu will have your product offerings as well as collections, and then your footer menu will contain your info pages. So I'm going to show you guys what that looks like in our store. So to get to navigations, you're going to go to online store, navigation. And then from here, we can add menus and look at existing menus. What I suggest that you guys do is actually have the online store pulled up beside you so you can have a visual view of the changes you're making. So right now you can see we have our main menu up here, and it's just home and catalog. So you can see that we have our main menu, home and catalog there. And then if we scroll down to our footer, it's just the search bar. So how we can add in more navigation and add in our info pages is we want to go back to the navigation page, and we're going to edit the main and footer menu. We're actually not going to add another menu because the only other menu to add would be a side menu. And in my opinion, that's too many menus. 2 is enough. So we'll go to our main menu, and we want to add menu items. So I'm going to delete catalog because we don't need it. And I'm going to add a menu item. So here we want to add the product collections that we had created before. So first I'm going to do new arrivals. So you can create a name for it. And here you can find the collection that you've created. So new arrivals, and then add. And then add new menu items. I created one called Mom's Must-Haves. So this is an example of a specialized collection that you could do for your store as well. And then collections, pick that one, add, and then let's add sale. All right, there we go. Add that in and save. So usually in the main menu, I tend to do product collections. Some people may put about us in here as well. It's totally up to you. Usually people put in product categories, but you can change it up depending on what type of store you have. So if we go to our store and we go up and refresh, we'll be able to see our new menus up here. So here, if you click on a collection, you can see all the items that we added to this collection from the previous step. So go back to the home page, and another edit that you can make here on the menu is if you wanted to change the order of your menu items, you can simply drag and drop, and then save it, and we'll go to the page and refresh. And then you can see the menu items change just like that. So now we're going to add in our footer, which is going to include the About Us section, Contact Us, and also our policies. So About Us, go to Pages, About Us, Add, Contact Us, Pages, Contact Us, and Add. And then privacy policy. And here you want to scroll down to policies, add it in. And now you just want to add the rest of your policies and then hit save. Okay, so I've added in all the footer pages, and if we go back to our store and do a quick page refresh, we'll be able to scroll down and you can see that all the footer items are being displayed now. So that's how you create navigations. Okay guys, believe it or not, those are all the skills that you need to know to create a functional Shopify store. There's always things that can be improved over time and elements that you can add to make your store better and better. But in terms of creating a store that's able to function and able to sell products and be visual appealing, those are all the skills that you need to know. So some things that you can do to make your store better and to improve the appearance and the functionality of your store is to add apps. So in the Shopify App Store, there's thousands of applications that can add features to your store and change both the appearance and also things that your store can do. So here are a list of some of my favorite apps. And I'm not going to go through each of them individually in demonstration just because the operations of each app change so much in quick amounts of time. But I will tell you what they do and why I like them. So first is AliExpress Reviews Importer and Judge Me Product Reviews. So these two apps together will allow you to import reviews from AliExpress onto the homepage of your store. So you can actually take reviews that people have already written about the product and put them on your own store. Next is OmniSend. This is the app that I use for email campaigns and email marketing. And you can also set up abandoned cart emails and automations through this app. For the price, I find that it's the best app. There's a lot of different email marketing applications out there, but I found that OmniSend is the best one and easiest to use. Next is Free Trust Badge. The Free Trust Badge allows you to add trust symbols such as verified by Visa, MasterCard, and other safety symbols onto your store to give customers that feeling of trust when they're checking out. Next, Consistent Cart. So Consistent Cart allows you to see what items and variants people have put into their carts. So it's kind of an interesting way to see what items people are considering. And for example, if you see a lot of one item being added to a cart but not being checked out, you can consider having a sale on that item to give people that push to really make that checkout process. And then InstaFeed. So now up here, you can use this app to connect your Instagram feed to your store. So you can have a visual block of all your Instagram posts on your store as well. So if you have some really cool posts from your Instagram and you have a really visual appealing Instagram account, it's a good idea to link that to your store. And then bundle products. So bundle products allows you to bundle multiple products together to create a discount. So this is really good if you have products that work really well together or related products that people might purchase together. You can put them together and hopefully people will purchase it because it's at a discount. And then Sales Pop. So Sales Pop is an application that shows banners displaying basically sales triggers to get people to make a purchase. It'll say like, Hannah from Brisbane, Australia just purchased blank, one of your products. So this kind of gives like a sense of urgency, and that if other people are purchasing this product, it'll make your customer want to purchase too. And then finally, Privy Pop-up. So this captures visitors' emails by offering them a discount or a coupon, something that you choose, and allows you to collect emails, which then you can use in your marketing campaigns. All right, so that is it for phase 3. And if you made it this far, then you are well on your way to creating your first sale on Shopify. Now, before we move on to phase 4, I want to show you guys what my store